Alright, welcome back to my channel. I just recently washed my locks and retightened them, and I am going to be retwisting, well not retwisting, but twisting my locks so that I can take them down. I'm probably going to twist them tonight to take them down tomorrow, but we'll see. We'll see how the twists come out. I may keep them in because I typically keep them in a while and wear it as a style, and then I'll take them out and wear them like wavy. So yeah, this is kind of like a lock video, but it's kind of not. I'm trying to still gather my thoughts because I had the plan to do a story, not a story time, but just kind of like get to know me video while I do my hair. And the topic that came up when I was thinking about what to talk about was my sobriety journey. A lot of people don't know that I have been sober from alcohol for over 7 years now, and what that journey kind of looked like for me, how I came to being sober, and just my testimony, like long story short. So yeah, I was thinking about doing that while I do my hair, and this is my first time doing something like this, so y'all bear with me as far as like trying to multitask between recording a story but also doing my hair, which I think it'll be fine if I speak freely. I may not always be looking at the camera, and I'm going to try my very, very best to keep things on track, because for one, this camera likes to cut off randomly, and sometimes I don't even know that it's cut off. I can't see myself in the camera. I don't have the extra flip view screen, so sometimes I'll just be talking and it's not even recording. What else? So yeah, it might be a little choppy because I might be checking to see if the camera is still on and all that good stuff, making sure the battery is good. Yeah, I'm going to try to keep this fairly reasonable as far as time goes. So my hair has already been washed and retightened. I washed it about 2 days ago. Once it dried, I retightened yesterday. And I've lightly oiled my hair. I don't do a ton of products in my hair. I don't do a ton of oil. It's mostly water that I put in my hair every day, as needed. I won't say every single day, but for the most part throughout the week I put water in my hair. And I have this little spray bottle here that I use. Don't mind the yellow stuff in there. My daughter got a hold of it, was using it for her hair, and put some oil in there. I didn't know that she did that, but it's not a big deal. It's black castor oil, so I figured I would just spray some of it into my hair. And then I also have some setting lotion that I'm going to be using to do my twist. I'm not going to be using any rubber bands. I don't need to. I don't believe I need to. The last few times I've been doing my twist, you might hear my son in the background. He's in his room watching videos, so you might hear him laughing or talking loud. The last few times I've done this, I haven't needed any rubber bands, so I'm going to continue that on. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. I don't really know where to start with talking about the sobriety stuff, but we're gonna speak freely over here, okay? No judgment and no certain, you know, format or agenda. We're just gonna talk like I'm talking to a good friend who just happened to ask. I've been sober for over 7 years now, so April 25th, 2016, I believe it was, I had a mental breakdown. And there are, you know, I can't use this video to go into details about all the things that led up to that point, but I was in a very dark place, had been in a very dark place for a while. Very depressed, having suicidal thoughts. And at the time I was working in Decatur as a certified medical assistant in a pediatric private office, and had been working there for like at least a couple of years. Was making pretty decent money there, was doing pretty well. I wouldn't necessarily say that the job itself was stressing me out, but I was in a field that I knew that I wasn't really happy with, I didn't agree with, and I knew that I was capable of more and wanted to do more. But it was I chose that path in the beginning because I was a young mother who had just had twin girls, and you know, needed to get a skill fast so that I could support myself and my family. And so that's what I did. And so I had been working in peds for a number of years before I got to Decatur. But once I got to Decatur, things just changed dramatically. The relationship that I was in, the financial constraints that I was experiencing, trauma and baggage that I had been holding on and carrying with me over the years was still lingering and very present in my everyday life. Just not being able to communicate and not having any, like not having the proper support system, I'd say, made a big, huge impact on like how I was navigating in the world around. So yeah, the relationship that I was in, I had been in for a long time, like on and off for a while. I was just very unhappy. I was not being honest with myself or others. I was not being seen and heard, you know, like I'm just going through the motions and going along to get along. And I think that when I started going through my spiritual awakening, I started realizing like this is not going to stop. It's going to continue on. These cycles and loops are going to continue on the longer that I agree to play along. And I got tired of that. I had been abused physically, mentally, sexually by multiple people over the years, and I wasn't using my voice. I wasn't speaking up for myself. I was going back to people who were very toxic, who were very manipulative and deceitful, very abusive, because I didn't know who I was. I didn't know my self-worth. I didn't pour into myself. I was constantly trying to fill myself up by filling others up and being a doormat basically for other people. didn't know my self-worth. So I'm in this dark place, and felt like it would be better for me to end my life. All right, so the camera already died. We're gonna move it on over here and just keep going. Do I have 4? No. Some of these are not locks anymore. Some of these I took down. Like there's one in the front that's not a lock anymore. I took that down. Because at one point in time I was saying to myself, I'm gonna take my hair down. Do something, just let my hair be free, right? I started taking a lot of my ends down because I liked the look of it. Like I would tease the ends out and unravel them because I like my little curl pattern at the end. That's not the best example. Like here's a good one. Super cute, right? I like to just play with the curls and just, I like how it looks. It looks pretty. Then I started like, I just kept going. It was like, let me see what it looked like if I take it all out. See, I got some build up in some of these. What can you do? That was another thing too. I was like taking some of them out to get a lot of the buildup out and combing it out. And some of them are easier than others, but I mean, it's like you gotta really work at it. Back to the story. So yeah, I was depressed. I was really having a hard time. I was struggling, did not have support, did not have people around me that I could confide in. And was just struggling. I was really struggling. And so I'll tell you tell you what happened. So I had a problem with alcohol, wine specifically. I wasn't drinking hard liquor and stuff like that. I was a wine drinker, and it got to the point where I thought that I was like a functioning alcoholic, where I could still get up and make sure my children got to school, and I still made it to work, and still did all of the things. At the end of the workday, I was getting 2 regular size wine bottles or one of those big wine bottles to use as a band-aid to soothe me, and became dependent upon that. And I didn't even like the person that I was turning into, but I was so fearful of like not having that as a release or as a crutch, what that would look like, that I just continued on until things got to a point where I couldn't manage it anymore. Like I was falling apart. And the falling apart came when I got so bad with the drinking that I wanted to hurt myself because I was so depressed. Like the alcohol wasn't doing anything anymore. It wasn't soothing me. I still felt like I wanted to die. So I had locked myself into my closet one night and had taken a bunch of pills, had been drinking, and was hoping that I would fall asleep and not wake up. And who is now my ex-partner, my partner at the time found me in the closet, or knew that I was in the closet. I think was trying to get into the closet. He found me. That's when things started moving after that. Like the next day, I believe I had to check in with my employer, and me working in the medical field and being surrounded by healthcare professionals, it turned into this big thing of like, you know, we're going to get you set up with help, and you're going to take time off of work to recalibrate and get yourself together, which I did. I went to inpatient treatment to withdraw off of alcohol and to do some inpatient therapy. I was there, it was at least a week. I don't know that it was longer than that. It might have been a little longer than that, but it wasn't that long that I was there. And I met some really inspiring people while I was there, people that I still know to this day that have helped me and have been positive influences in my life, that were there with me during treatment. They were in treatment as well too for other things, you know. But we were like supportive of each other. Did not know this person, but like they could see me and I could see them type situation. And after that experience, because that wasn't my first time in inpatient or outpatient treatment. I've had therapy before. Like I said in the past, I've had inpatient therapy, outpatient therapy. I've had all the therapy. Well, I can say all the therapies, but I've had multiple rounds and experiences with therapy, specifically for depression and anxiety. And so once I got out, what really helped was I got set up with AA. And I had never had an experience with AA. Obviously, that was the first time. But it was a part of like my treatment plan. I had to have a plan in action in order for me to, you know, continue my recovery outside of just having those 7 to 10 days in inpatient treatment where they basically pump you up with stuff to get you you coming off of alcohol. Some people are coming off of drugs. It's not a good time. It's a very sensitive time and can be very dangerous as well too, because I saw a lot of people who had seizures and things like that because they were coming down. So it's just a very sensitive time, and I'm very grateful that I got what I needed to get out of it and was able to move on. I know a lot of people relapsed or they don't make it out, and thank God that hasn't been my experience, and I pray that it continues to not be my experience, because I worked very hard to stay sober. So yeah, once I got out of treatment, they got me set up with AA, and AA changed my life. It really did. It was the experience that I had, and I've only been to I've been to 2 different locations, because after a while, after so many years, I just kind of started randomly popping up places, because the Holy Spirit said you need to go, and I'll listen and I'll go. But in the beginning, I had one specific location that I was very consistent and adamant about being at meetings and being accountable for showing up for myself. I never did have a sponsor. And I don't really know why. I've tried to reach out to a few, but never like meshed with anybody. But it was okay because it still worked out. Like, I still went to the meetings overall, and I had the blue book, and I was very invested and committed to my recovery. Like, it wasn't an option for me to go back down the road. Once I gotten off of alcohol, it was just moving forward from that point. Like, it wasn't an option going back, and I had already made up my mind. So that was my big thing. That I took away was that I can make the choice to not drink. I can make the choice to not drink. And that's what I kept telling myself. It's a choice, it's a choice, it's a choice. And if I don't choose to drink, I'm doing good. I'm doing okay. Not that that's the only part of recovery. There are other parts of recovery, but the biggest thing, obviously, is not consuming alcohol, you know? And that's a success. That's a victory. Each day you get through and you're not backsliding. And my biggest takeaway from those meetings that I used to have in Clarkston was one meeting I went in and I was feeling pretty down. Like, I was listening to other people talk about how they were relapsing and they were just, having a hard time. I went back to drinking. And not that when you're empathic, you tend to absorb other people's stuff. You tend to feel other people's feelings and can take on their trials, their hard times or shortcomings. And even when people are they're feeling tempted or they're feeling not so strong, you can take that on as well too. And I noticed that I started feeling like maybe that was going to be part of my journey and part of my path, was that I was going to relapse. Like, well, it can't be that bad, because other people they come back in here and they talk about it. Yeah, I done relapsed 26 times. And, they just talk about it like it's just a part of it. And 2 people at the end of that meeting stopped me, because I shared that I was feeling like maybe I'm struggling here, and I feel like I don't want to relapse, but maybe I don't have the strength to not consume alcohol, and there were other things going on in the background that I can't necessarily remember in this particular time that was created. I came in there with that feeling, is what I'm saying. It wasn't just me listening to those people and I'm like, oh, hell, I want to drink too. No, it was other things happening that brought me to that meeting specifically for that day, where I was feeling like I need some help. And then listening to the other people who are sitting there talking about, and everybody's journey is different. This is not knocking people who have relapsed or whatever. Everybody has their path. It was just, it was like that feeling, that urge was very present at that time. And so I shared that, and it made me feel more connected, because I knew I wasn't alone. I knew I wasn't the only person experiencing this, but it also felt scary because I felt like it was the introduction to like, this is what relapse is. You know, you start having these feelings and then you give in, and it just, it's a downward spiral. So there were two people that stopped me after that meeting, this big old black man and this little white lady. Gosh, never seen them before. And they stopped me. And they explained to me that my path, my journey does not have to look like that if I don't want it to. They explained to me that it is a choice. If I choose to be sober and to stay sober, then it can be just that. Because they were sharing that with me because that was their experience, and they wanted it to be known that not everybody has that experience. Not everybody gets sober the first time and stays sober. A lot of people don't. They have to repeat certain lessons, and they was like, it's okay if you don't. You can just choose to not. And that really stuck with me, because that was their experience, and I really heard that. Like, I really felt that. Like, relapsing doesn't have to be a part of your journey if you make the choice. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, I like to think of them as some guardian angels, because I never saw them again after that. Didn't exchange numbers, nothing. It was literally that moment. That's all it was. And that's all, I think that's all it needed to be. And God knew that, because I've never had any issues after that. It became, I wrote it in my story that relapsing was not going to be a part of my journey. And I made that choice then, and it stuck. I'm trying to see. I'm not going to worry too much on trying to make it perfect, because I don't think I'm going to have it in long. Oh my gosh. My hair is kind of sore. Yeah, don't mind me. I'm still new to this. So I got sober, and right after I left treatment and was on my, all my stuff, doing my meetings, going to therapy, seeing my doctor, all the things. Shortly after, thinking that I'm on the up and up, I'm getting ready to get back to work. I'm getting ready to get my life back on track. I lose my job. And I hadn't returned back to work yet because I was still on like medical leave or whatever. So once my doctor cleared me and gave me, like, she literally wrote a prescription that said I could go back to work, I gave that to my employer with full transparency of, like, you know, we would talk on the phone. Like, she wanted to make sure I felt ready, I felt comfortable with coming back and all that good stuff, which I did. Like, working helps me feel more like myself. If I'm busy, if I'm being productive and doing the things that I need to do to support myself and my family, I don't want to just sit around and sit at home. So I was ready to get back to work, and that was not in the cards. Like, I think during the time that I was out, she had already decided, even though she told me something else, you know, that my job would be there waiting for me when I got back. That was not the case. I was let go after that. Not because anything happened at work. There were no incidents to report for why I wasn't allowed to come back after I had a mental health crisis. So I don't know why she told me I could come back after I got checked out and got help, when it appears like that was never the plan. And so, yeah, I lost my job, which soon after I lost my apartment, because I didn't have a job anymore. And so a lot of things were shifting and changing during that time, which could have very easily have landed me right back into a depression. The relationship that I was in was ending, and there was just a lot going on. And to top it all off, well, a couple things. To top it all off, I decided to get into, doing classical trauma bonding. Got into another relationship with somebody who was, guess what, an alcoholic. You see how easy it is for the devil to try to tempt you back into certain spaces and places, certain circumstances and situations with people, places, or things, if you are not careful. And although I had started doing the inner work as far as not consuming any alcohol, I wasn't quite equipped with not putting myself in certain spaces and places with people who were struggling with alcohol. It wasn't the fact that, oh, he drinks. Now, I could see very well too how somebody who's just getting sober would need, because this is a part of it too, you need to change your environment. You need to not be around people or environments, like, being at a bar is a prime example, or going to parties or gatherings where there's a lot of alcohol involved and people are doing a lot of drinking, because it could be triggering, it could be unhealthy. And so I avoided that for a while. When I came back to live with my parents during that time, they took all the alcohol out of the house. They took out even like wine bottle openers, all types of things, so that it wasn't anything around to trigger me, right? And so when I left to be in this relationship with this guy, it's so weird how I didn't quite see, or maybe I didn't want to see, the fact that he had a problem with alcohol. Because, people will tend to show you their good side up front, so that it appears like one thing is happening or going on, when in reality, you're with somebody who has on a mask and you don't even realize it. Now, shortly after us moving in together and us being in the same space, I recognized what was going on. Did not tempt me back into drinking at all. It actually scared me more from drinking because I saw how he was. It wasn't like looking at myself, because he was very belligerent and very violent and aggressive. It was more like just the ugly parts of what alcohol can do that made me feel like I'm so glad that I'm not dealing with that, right? And you cannot try to talk somebody like that into getting help. As supportive as you may want to be, as much as you love a person, they have to love themselves more and want to help themselves more, because ultimately they're the only ones that is going to be able to help themselves and get themselves free. I can't heal them. I can't force them to stop drinking. I can't, So during that time, the relationship was very trauma bonded. It was very codependent. I would buy, he would be drunk a lot of the time and couldn't drive to go get his alcohol. So guess who had to go buy it? Buy his vodka and his orange juice and buy his Coca-Cola, because we like to drink those three things. Well, the vodka and the orange juice were mixed together, obviously. So yeah, and that was not my drink of choice. So I wasn't even. But again, being in a stressful relationship, a new environment, newly sober, like all these things, and I had just signed up for school. I was a freshman at Georgia State University, at one of their satellite locations. It was my freshman year. It was just like all this new stuff, all these new things that I'm doing, and all the while, on this sobriety journey. My beans were with me. They were so young back then, but they were with me. And we still talk. Now that they're older, we talk about that time frame now, because they remember a lot of it. Even though they were young, they remember him. They remember that house. They remember our time there, what it was like. And I'm so grateful that things turned out the way that they did, as far as us getting to buy the situation, because I know had I stayed, it could have ended very differently, and it wasn't a very wise choice on my behalf moving into that space with that particular person, because of all of the circumstances surrounding what was going on in that time period. But I wasn't in a place to see it. And sometimes we have to go through certain things on our own, because the lesson needs to smack you in the face. Sometimes you're hard-headed, you're stubborn, you're just making unwise decisions, and the me now, you wouldn't catch me, okay? I'm not even wasting my time entertaining the thought of going into something like that, especially with my babies. So yeah, we recovered by the grace of God. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Made it out of that situation, and just took some time to reflect, you know, and although I was doing good with, like, you know, my sobriety is doing good. I'm in school and I'm maintaining my stuff in school. I'm supporting myself and being, you know, there for my babies and taking care of myself. I left that relationship and got into another relationship shortly after, very shortly after. Although this person, you know, yeah, they drink alcohol. They weren't overly consuming it. It was a very social thing for them. They barely had alcohol, actually, while we were together. But the trauma bonding, okay, the codependency. This was a relationship that I had already been in prior to, you know, some years back. We took some time off, reconnected, rekindled. Oh, I didn't have, not me, but this person came to me saying, oh, I done had an epiphany. We supposed to be together type situation. And so boom, we back together because we have created soul ties to each other that over the years have just kept this cycle and this loop going on. Again, another circumstance where people can very easily jump back into drinking, and I did not, because I already had a private conversation with myself and made a choice that that was not going to be a part of my journey. So let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. I didn't do the best job sorting these sections out, I'm gonna be honest, because I told y'all this is my first time doing this. I'm trying to talk and do my hair, and it's like this is hard. I'm getting through it. We barely making any headway. I need to get moving for this video be 2 hours long. Oh child. So yeah, the person that I got back with, they were very supportive of my journey, and actually, well, they were very present with me during my recovery process and stuff. So I am grateful for that. I am very grateful for that. But there were other things, just like in a lot of relationships, there are other underlying issues that need to be addressed that could be still toxic. Just because people are not addicted to alcohol or drugs don't mean they're not addicted to other things. People can be addicted to people, okay? People can be addicted to toxicity and drama and mess. And I'm not speaking on my past partner. I'm just saying in general, like, there are things going on that, if not addressed, can become just as you can create a dependency upon. And it was very, very, very hard for me to get this lesson with this particular person, because I cared about them and I loved them and wanted things to work out. But I'm also to blame. Like, I'm part of the problem because I was allowing and entertaining certain behavior and cycles when I knew once things got to a certain, you know, once things got to a certain way of being, I'm not going to be happy. And I wasn't happy. Yeah, it's supposed to be diluting this, but we're not going to worry about it, okay? It's just a little bit. I mean, there's some water. Not a lot, but there's some water. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. I mean, I guess I could pour a little bit into the bottle, huh? Yeah, I'm probably like, you doing too much. You're doing a whole lot. I'm like, I've been doing it like this, without diluting it. And I know that this is very concentrated. Yeah. But maybe it's okay because I got locs. Because this what it say. It says, okay, it says, dilute directions, dilute for hair type. On normal hair, 2 to 3 parts water to 1 part Lotta Body. On tinted hair and bleached hair, 4 to 5 parts water to 1 part Lotta Body. Apply to damp hair. See, we've been applying to damp hair. Comb through evenly, blow, style, or set. If hair dries before set is finished, add more as needed. We'll put a little bit into the bottle. It's not gonna hurt. I don't want somebody coming for me. You're not supposed to be doing that. And I'm also say this. I know that people do lots of different things for their locks. Everybody has their own things. I'm just doing what I normally do. I'm not saying what I do is right. Okay, right, whatever right is. I just do for my hair what works for my hair and for my scalp. Okay, it may not be right for you. I'm not telling nobody how to do their hair. I'm just showing you how I've been doing my hair. And you know, everything that I do to my hair, which is not a lot, because I believe that's how I've got my hair to grow so long. I don't mess with my hair really like that. I don't be doing a whole bunch to my hair. I over the years just have a few things that have been pretty consistent, and I don't always use setting lotion. I normally will twist with just water because it is sufficient, especially if I'm gonna leave it in for a while. It's pretty sufficient, but because I want to potentially take these out tomorrow, I was like, let me use a little bit of setting lotion to help me out so that it can actually like hold a little better. But yeah, I'm just putting that out there. I'm not a beautician. I am not a loctician. I do my own hair. I did my own locks, and I like to think that my locks have been fairly successful doing what it is, that taking care of them the way that I've taken care of my hair. Not that this is any hair advice for anybody. You got to do what works for you. You pay attention to your own head, your own scalp, your own follicles, okay? Okay, that's all I'm saying. So, see, this one right here is not a lock. I missed getting this one wrapped in with the twist, but this is like a 2-strand twist from a lock that I took down. So we're just gonna leave it. Nobody gonna see it, no way. Let's keep going. Oh, it's taking longer than I thought. I'm gonna try to pay attention. And what I'm trying to do, what I've been doing is like separating 2 rows at a time, so I can count out like 4 locks to do my twist with. because that's the thickness that I like, and I feel like it's even and balanced, and it looks the best. I don't want to do them too big because they get too bulky and they don't want to lay down. And I don't want to do them too small because we'll be here all night. And I'm trying to make them where they have a little bit of, you know, like I actually tried. Because if I decide tomorrow, I keep hitting this thing, that I don't want to take them out, at least they're styled decently. Like I can wear them as a style for a little while and not feel like, oh, this is not cute because of the way that I did them. So I'm mindful of that. Whenever I do 2-strand twists, I might decide at any point, I'm just gonna leave these in. Sometimes I do them knowing that I'm gonna leave them in, you know what I'm saying? Just spray this down. And I do have a dryer here. I might end up getting up under the dryer. I might do the dryer like once a year. I do not get up under the dryer. It's my mom's dryer. She does her locks. She has sister locks. She sits up under the dryer when she washes her hair and does her hair. But in rushed circumstances, yeah, I've done the dryer like twice. So yeah, I am a survivor. I have overcome a lot of things, and to God be the glory, because that is what has kept me all this time. And we're not going to do, oh. We're not going to do this one yet. Yeah, so I have been trekking along with my journey. Haven't talked about it publicly, really. I did try to make, I didn't try. I made a really cool reel some months ago going into a little detail about my journey with sobriety, and just being a positive force and motivating others who may be struggling or just not feeling like they have support. And there was something weird with Instagram. Instagram deleted like a good portion of my reel, which was just really weird why that would happen. It wasn't like, oh, I accidentally, no. There was some sort of weird malfunction with Instagram. So like, yeah, I just prefer to just make straight up face-to-face videos like this and let people see me and hear me talk about my story. I can walk, I mean, I'm good now. I've been to plenty of family functions or, you know, clubs or whatever. Like, not that I go clubbing or anything like that, but, you know, we go out or something like that. I've been around alcohol a lot. And I have not once been tempted to be on the other side of where I am right now. I'd much rather keep up what I've worked so hard to establish for myself, because it makes me feel very proud. And it taught me a lot about myself, that like my mind is powerful. Like anything that I set my mind to, and I knew this before. I knew that if I set my mind to something, like I'm going to accomplish it. I'm going to be able to go after it with the courageous heart, because I know that I'm going to be successful because I set my mind to it. And so it was interesting because I'm like, why would this be any different? Because physically your body feels like, oh, what we doing? You taking away my favorite thing, you know? And your body don't want to feel no kind of resistance or withdrawal from all the things. The flesh is weak, okay? Do you hear me? The flesh is weak. But your mind is powerful. If you utilize it and make the choice to do what's best for your highest good, you can overcome a lot. If you set your mind and make your mind up, it's all about making the decision, making the choice to rise above, to overcome. And yes, you're going to need support. Yes, you're going to have to make big changes and be vulnerable and authentic and be honest. You can't do this without being honest. If you make the commitment to do the work, you will be okay, because God is going to provide what you need. He always does. He always does. The unknown feels very scary. We fear what we don't know. You don't know how something's going to look. You don't know what the expectations of making a transition or a shift like that is going to entail. But you have to trust God and trust yourself. Trust yourself that you can be victorious if you choose. If you tell yourself that you're not going to be able to do it, you're not. That wasn't an option for me. Not for myself. I didn't want that for myself, and I didn't want that for my family, because they are worthy of having a good mom. They are worthy of me being the best version of myself. For them, they're innocent. They didn't ask to be here, and I don't want. I know I have way more to offer than to go out like that. So let it go. It's not even worth it. All it's doing is dragging you down and making you unrecognizable in the worst way. It's not worth it. And let me tell you something, I've never been more creative in my life. I've never been more successful in my life. I've never had more confidence and more knowledge of self ever in my life since I stopped drinking alcohol. My vessel is clear. I understand myself more. I understand. I get more about how my brain works. I'm more tapped in with like what my triggers are, how I maneuver or behave. And when I switch up, I can check in with myself and say, what you doing? You got this and this going on. You looking a little funny right now. I can tap in with my own mind because I'm aware of how my mind operates, how the mind try to play you sometimes. Okay, you got to be aware of yourself. You got to know yourself. You can't be afraid to look at yourself and to be honest about where you done came from. Because if you don't pay attention to where you've come from, you're not gonna know where you're going. I like to call it zooming out. You got to be willing to zoom out and look at everything objectively. Just look at it for what it is. Let it be what it is, because it is what it is. And then boom, okay, how can we make positive changes and accept the things that we can change and do those changes so that we are living the life that we desire. You're not going to have control over everything. Some things are out of your control. I don't know what those things are. But the things that you can control, take your power back. Get your life back. Nobody else is going to do it for you. And they can't do it for you. They literally can't. It's up to you. It starts with you. If you really love yourself, if you cherish yourself, if you know that you are worth more, you will do whatever it takes to get what you know you're worthy of. Don't settle. Even if everybody around you is unhealed and being toxic and being low vibrational, you don't have to accept that as your fate as well. You can make a choice to say, that's what y'all are doing, whatever, it doesn't work for me. I want more. And you make that choice and you go after that. I'm not saying that it's going to be easy, okay? It is not. But it can be done. I am living proof that it can be done. You can do the work and heal. You can do the work and transmute the energy. You can do the work and be victorious and live to talk about it and tell others and to show others how you did it. Or not. And that's your business. I'm not here to convince anybody. I'm simply using my voice to be a guiding light for those who may have been considering it or who are already on their journey. They're on their path. And this is just more confirmation for you that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Because we need to hear that sometimes. You know? You might not have anybody around you telling you that. That's okay. You tell it to yourself. You know what you're doing. And God knows and sees what you're doing. Keep it up. That's what I like to say. Keep it up. Because you're only going to prosper. I'm not telling you to do nothing bad. I would never lead you astray to do anything that's going to be hurtful or harmful. If you know that you have a problem with alcohol, reach out and get some help. There are organizations in place that can assist you and that can give you resources and support. Don't try to do stuff alone, especially if you don't have to. More than likely, you have resources. This one is kind of tiny, but it's fine because this one is in the front. These are, I think a couple of these are actually supposed to be already combined. I think they are, but, oh, that was one thing too that I was researching on is combining my locks. I've been looking it up and doing research. I think that I'm considering it, but I'm doing research because from what I've read and gathered, you need to have like a certain like parting system down for how you're going to do it, and making sure like the amount of locks and the part that you create is going to be able to support the new lock that you're making and all this stuff. And I'm just like, well, I'm glad I is doing some research, because I don't want to just start doing stuff and then my locks turn out crazy or they suffer and my hair is looking worse or bad because I didn't take the time to like plan it out. Because once we start combining things, you know how they say you can always add but you can't take away. Once you put stuff together, I mean, I don't know, maybe you can uncombine them, I don't know. I just feel like the method that I'm going after, it would be like this. I would combine them like this, not doing the, is it the crochet thing or whatever that little tool is that they be using to stitch them together. That's real. That's real permanent. I mean, they gonna become permanent regardless, but. And then the other thing too was I interlock my locks. My locks have always been on an interlock system when I retighten my hair. I've never palm rolled my hair, and I did the interlock because that works for my lifestyle. Like, I don't care about it being super sleek and, you know, all slayed and edges all put together. My stuff is, you know, it's neat, it's put together, but it's not slick down, okay? And that's fine. Like, if I want it to be like that, I can work to make my edges look a little bit more sleek or slayed or whatever the children say, okay? I care about my hair being healthy and it being strong and it being free. Yeah, because technically for me, I like my hair more messy. I'm a messy girl, okay? Not drama, you know, messy dealings. I'm saying my hair, when it grows out and it's just kind of free and doing its own thing, that's yeah. This is good too, but you know, this only lasts for so long. Once it gets to that messy phase, I can just ride with that for like weeks, months at a time and get away with it. But people notice when you do your hair and your hair is all nice and done up. People are like, oh, your hair's so nice. And then when you get into that messy phase, it just looks how it's just gonna look, and there's no expectation. That's the lazy part of me that say, oh, I don't want to do my hair. And I really don't have to, because I have locks. I don't have to get up and style my hair every day. I don't have to maintain anything. I just let my hair do what it wants to do. I water it, I be nice to it and love on it, and leave it alone, and my hair grow, because I'm not constantly doing stuff to it. But see, some of these are thin. I'm thinking about, I counted my locks. I might do another video about that. I'm not gonna put that in this video, but I counted my locks and I definitely want to reduce the number. They're getting long and I want to get a more consistent size with all of my locks, and I think it would look really, like, aesthetically, I think it would be nice. I've seen some other women with thicker locks and I'm just like, they're so cute, so pretty. And the way that they are able to like style them and stuff is like, oh, I can't do that with my locks. My locks don't do that. I have to do like another style to kind of emulate or try to replicate that look. But their locks, they just be out and their locks just do it because that's how their locks were built. All right, my locks are too skinny. And see, even this is kind of small still. Like, I'm talking bigger than this. Yeah, I'm talking bigger than this. So that's another thing. Like, I have to get an idea of like, what size are we talking here? What's the parting gonna look like? How many locks? What's the goal of, you know, how many locks you want to have? And those conversations. I haven't worked that out yet, but I'm thinking about it. And I think for the new year, that would be like a nice little transformation. I want to do something new, but I don't know. I'm not putting no time constraints on myself. I'm just speaking out loud. This video gonna be so long. What I may do, I really wasn't expecting to take this long, y'all. I'm sorry. 3 hours later, child. I was gonna make a cute little short video. This don't go. This is out of place. And it never turned out that way, do it? Okay. See, so far these coming out kind of cute. I may end up keeping these in. Cause the first few days when I do the twist, and I have it like, I'll put the little scarf on and my bonnet, it come out looking so cute. But then I also be torn because I be like, oh, I want the waves too. That's a whole nother look, whole nother vibe. Because once I take it down, that's a whole vibe too. It don't last that long, but it be super like, especially like if I'm going somewhere, it's like, ooh, yeah, your hair cute, girl. Your hair cute. I'm like, well, I just wanted to stay like that, at least for like, I mean, depending on how I do it. If I have it down and I'm just out doing stuff, it probably not gonna last that long. But if I put it up a little bit and tie it up at night and stuff, it'll last for a few days. But they just continuously drop. You can tell they start dropping them. Or you like, I get in the shower and I don't put nothing on my head. I get in the shower, I just put my hair up. Yeah, your curls gonna fall, girl. Okay, let's see. You know what I need on right now? I don't know why I don't want all this time. Lord have mercy, I'm just realizing. I don't know how much time I'm gonna have left. I'm on my iPad because my camera don't want to do right. But I don't know why I don't want all this time. It's like really irking me now, thinking about it. because I was so distracted trying to set up all this other stuff. I ain't have all the things that I needed for myself. This is called self-care. Self-care. I really do not like when the water be dripping down. So I bought towels. I've been had these. And like I normally use these just for my face when I'm doing my face wash. Because there's really no, but like when I do my hair, I'm saying there's no other purpose for it, but clearly there is. When I'm doing my hair and I'm using my spray bottle and I'm holding my locks, I don't want to feel that water dripping down. And that's what was happening. And you saw me, I kept doing like this because I don't like that. And then I'm like, I have a solution for this. Why am I not using it? Dang. Done recorded all this. It's all good now. I got it now. And I'm talking about when I tell you it's a game changer, okay. I have multiple ones in different colors. Got it off Amazon. Type in wrist towels. They're super soft. This is not sponsored. I just really believe in these. This is genius. It's a sensory thing. I don't like feeling water dripping down my arm. All right. That's what we have so far. I am going to continue working and I'll check back in a minute once I get further through my head.
I'm a licensed dermatologist. I mostly struggled with dry skin, breakup.
I learned to own my style, how I got this smile. Conquer fear, got the crown. Can't nobody bring me down. I'm looking good, quite frankly. Tim's a fitted big Yankee. Denim coat when I'm out east. I'm top tier, you can't rate me. Stop talking, baby, go get it. You start something, better finish. Yeah, that rooftop still a missing. I'm independently winning. Master B taught me no limit. Faith got me dominion. God give it, can't diminish. I'm set apart, I'm distinguished. You a baddie, baby. You gotta own it style and your grace. You better own it. All they wanna do is copy and paste, but you they can't replace. So own it. You a baddie, baby. You gotta own it style and your grace. You better own it. All they wanna do is copy and paste, but you they can't replace. So own it. Next turn when I walk in, got them all hot like she back again. Denim fit, I'm far from plain. Sugar and spice, I can't be lame. Tried to hate, but my God stopped. You got blocked, but it's tight in. Motivated like them high school plays. I know you remember those titans. Everything ain't always black and white. I'm still gonna get it going with in spite. Shining bright, can't dim this light. Diamond in the rough one made me tough. You stuck on luck manifesting. I say my prayers count blessings. Flashy, flexing. My own style is impressing. You a baddie, baby. You gotta own it style and your grace. You better own it. All they wanna do is copy and paste, but you they can't replace. So own it. You a baddie, baby. You gotta own it style and your grace. You better own it. All they wanna do is copy and paste, but you they can't replace. So own it. Pop them tags.
Y'all, I'm done with my hair. I'm going to end the video here. I'm surprised I still have any storage left because this is gonna be a long video. This is it. This is the look. Tomorrow's my birthday, but I'm kind of phasing out of celebrating my birthday for personal reasons. And so I was thinking like I want to make sure my hair is done at least. You know, that's a self-care thing. My hair needed to be washed and it needed to be retightened because it was time. And so this style is helpful because it's not so much hair all over the place, and it's pretty versatile. I can still like do stuff with it if I want to. So my hair is done. I just wanted to end the video off. I hope that you got something out of this. Maybe you can share it with somebody that needs it. And you know, this is an opportunity of transparency for not only myself, but for people who are watching too. You know, you may want to connect more and talk more about these things if you need extra support or help. Being vulnerable does a lot. You know, it's not easy to open up to people, and you have to be discerning when you do open up, making sure that the people that you open up to are available to hold space for you and are trustworthy people. So be mindful of that. Yeah, I just hope that this helps other people, and I hope that beyond the hair stuff, you know, that was me taking care of something off of my to-do list. Beyond the hair stuff, I hope that you're able to take something positive away from this video, and good luck to you if you are on this journey as well too. So I'm going to go tie my hair up, and I'm going to tie my hair up. I got a lot of editing to do. I'm going to go tie my hair up, get in the shower, get ready for bed, and I will see y'all in the next video. Goodbye.
I learned to own my style, how I got this smile. Conquer fear, got the crown. Can't nobody bring me down. I'm looking good, quite frankly. Tim's a fitted big Yankee. Denim coat when I'm out east. I'm top tier, you can't rate me.